Apparent Brown Act violations in Inglewood, August 6, 2014, at about 7 o'clock. Possibly to hide misconduct by one of the planning commissioners, Mr. David Rice. State law, specifically the Ralph M. Brown Act, states in Section 54953, quote, all meetings of the legislative body of a local agency shall be open and public, and all persons shall be permitted to attend any meeting of the legislative body of a local agency except as otherwise provided in this chapter. There are no provisions in the law saying you can lock the public out of a regularly scheduled meeting. On August 6, 2014, there was a meeting of the Inglewood City Planning Commission at 7 o'clock p.m. on the 9th floor of City Hall. After not being able to get in the building via the automatic doors or the manual doors, I decided to videotape my additional attempts to get into City Hall. I arrived at City Hall at about 7 o'clock. I tried the front door. The automatic door did not open, and I looked for any type of documentation or postings saying that the meeting had been canceled. There were no postings saying that the meeting had been canceled or postponed, so I intended on walking to another door to see if it was open so that I could go to the meeting. As you can see, it's now 7:04. As I approached the side door, I noticed that it was also locked. Both of them were locked. So I went to the back to see if it was open. I also looked on the back door to see if there were any postings there saying that the meeting had been canceled or postponed. There were none, so I checked the door on both sides.
Nothing's open.
So I decided to go back around to make a more thorough inspection to see if there was any documentation saying that the meeting had been canceled or postponed. Apparently, my walking around the building had been seen by someone because as I was inspecting the postings in the front, someone came to the front door in a couple of minutes. I looked at one piece of paper that said it was for the Permits Commission.
That's not it.
Then I looked at another one that was for, I believe, the Appeals Commission or something having to do with appeals.
That's not it.
And then I looked up on the bulletin board,
Planning Division.
and there were several postings.
Agenda August 7th. That's the Parks Commission.
One specifically had to do with the Planning Commission, and in fact it was the specific agenda for the Planning Commission, stating that the meeting was to be held at 7 p.m. on August 6th on the 9th floor.
August 6th is 7 o'clock.
The automatic door still didn't open. I looked around inside, and again, someone must have seen me walking around the building because as I tried the door again, a city employee came, and as you can see, he told me that the building was closed. Afterwards,
So somebody saw me
as I looked at the employee through the window, I said, "Isn't there a planning commission meeting tonight?" And he said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, isn't it August 6th at 7 o'clock? There's supposed to be a planning commission meeting." And so he said, "I don't know," and he let me in. I went upstairs to the 9th floor. And sure enough, there was a meeting going on.
And what do you know? There's a
But
meeting.
I think not coincidentally, the only people that were there were the Planning Commission and staff and one person that was a representative of one of the items on the agenda. There were no other public members there, which is very unusual. I had never ever seen that before in the few meetings that I have gone to. So I decided to tell the commission about the problems with the door.
Could you lift something up here?
Oh, okay.
So that's the laser.
Oh, okay. My name is Joseph Texera. I just want to let the commission know that the doors are locked. It took me 10 minutes to get in, and the person that did answer the door for me and let me in after I'd gone around the building a couple of times said that the building was closed, and I had to remind them there was a commission meeting tonight, so there may have been people that wanted to speak on this that thought that they couldn't get in or the meeting had been canceled. Thank you. Unfortunately, even after they heard that information, the commission apparently took no steps to check to see if the doors were locked, why they weren't locked, and they made no changes in the agenda and took no action to postpone any of the agenda items. Now, I do believe that there's a possibility that there may be a deliberate attempt to keep the public out of the commission meetings, because at the last meeting I attended, I was cut off as I was beginning to give the comments that I'm about to give now. So there may have been a reason why they didn't want people to have access to this meeting, especially me. Commissioners, my name is Joseph Texera. I'm requesting that the commission as a whole begin an investigation against Mr. David Rice, Commissioner David Rice, for misconduct and ethical violations. I would ask the commission as a whole and as individuals to exercise your fiduciary duty to go to the internet, look at the video David Rice, Perjurer, and you will see evidence that in a sworn declaration that David Rice filed with the Torrance Superior Court, he lied, made statements that were blatantly untrue, proven by evidence in that video, and be aware that Mr. Rice will be deposed in the next month or two regarding a case in which he is involved. And during that time, he will be asked about the misstatements that he made both in his declaration and in statements he made at this podium in city council meetings. To keep him on the council will cause any individual that comes up here and asks for anything before this commission to have a right to appeal, because if he is found guilty of perjury, all the decisions made, if it is a close decision, will be up in the air. So any decision made will be tainted by his conduct in the past. So again, I'd like you to go to the internet, look at David Rice, Perjurer, look at it with an open mind, ask yourself if this is something that a sitting commissioner in Inglewood should have done, and if this is something that a sitting commissioner in Inglewood should have out there hanging over the head of himself and this commission and all the decisions that this commission makes. Thank you.